here's what I'll say about
No, you guys
Cornel West.
can-
Here's what I've come to realize about Cornel West's campaign. I'm not mad at it. Before I was like, really, who's this for? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And now after the assault on Gaza and Biden's complete 150% just like, bowing down to whatever Israel wants, asking $14 billion more for weapons. Even Obama has to come out with a statement. It's like, I think it's wrong to deprive people of water.
Those things.
Yep. Electricity is important. And it's like, thank you, Barack. Can you please call your boy? Can you please call Joe and tell him ceasefire? Although, of course, he didn't say that. But that gives me new appreciation for Cornel West, who's actually at least on a national stage, advocating for Palestinian human rights, going on Fox News, going up against Dershowitz, and things like this. But this was a fun little wrinkle in the Cornel West campaign, which is he last week apparently took a max donation, which is only $3,300. And the dude's worth more, but he took it from a man named Harlan Crow, who, again, is a billionaire. And we'll talk about who he is, but Crow made the donation in August, weeks before West abandoned his bid for the Green Party nom to run as an independent. Crow has called West a self-proclaimed, quote, non-Marxist socialist, which I'm not really sure how that one works. What?
I don't know.
And a longtime professor at Princeton University, a good friend. And remember, Harlan Crow donated, he pretty much is Clarence Thomas's sugar daddy. Has given him all kinds of favors, paid for his nephew's education. Clearly he's one of the many billionaires that supports Clarence Thomas, which is also, I'm just gonna say it, real Get Out vibes. The fact that you got this white guy who's supporting these black prominent folks in political life. Obviously one's a effing Supreme Court justice. It's weird. It's a little weird. But once he faced criticism, Cornel tweeted how sad the perception so quickly triumph over the truth in our decadent culture. This holds in our major catastrophe in the Middle East, where the rich humanity of Palestinians is rendered invisible. It always holds at home in the minor scandal about Harlan Crow's donation to my campaign. He's a staunch anti-Trump Republican who has never forget collections of tyrants, Stalin, Mao, Hitler, and many others, and patriotic collections of Washington, Jefferson, and Lincoln. He's also got Nazi memorabilia, professor, but okay. Does this disqualify him from contributing to my campaign? Most people holler yes. I say no. As a jazz man, however, I listened and I decided to give the money back to Brother Harlan.
What does that mean as a jazz man?
Still say that this is the second time he said jazz man.
I'm just making things up as I go along.
Wait. So when he decided to run as an independent, Matt and I were having this debate because I was like, and I said the words Jasmine. I was like, first of all, he knows what he's doing. He's actively doing this. He probably thought that the Green Party, he could keep more of the donations if he went solo. He probably thought that he already had the infrastructure he needed. He probably thought he didn't want to go through the nomination process. I was like, he's not like a jazz man or whatever. And this is the second time that West has referred to himself as like a jazz man. I'm like, oh God, okay. So we are just making things up.
I love it.
But also, I don't know about that. He's an anti-Trump Republican. Oh, so he's just one, the shade of piece of shit that he is just slightly less brown. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he's an anti-Trump like, no, he's not. He supports Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas enacting the wish list of MAGA. But I don't know, Raph, your thoughts on this as someone who obviously supports breaking, the two-party system.
I mean, we like at Working Families Party, which I think you're referring to as our third party that I work with, is we don't do the elections usually. Sometimes we do, but we don't do the election typically, where we're going to cause the Democrat to lose. But I think things are changing so much now that I think a lot of people are just not going to come out to vote for Biden, even though they don't want Trump. And it's really dangerous. And now I'm kind of seeing maybe there is like a catch for them elsewhere nationally that could at least be some sort of protest Even though like discipline wise and logic wise, you have to say, no, you can't, by all means, you can't have Trump or anyone like that as president.
Yeah.
But I also, can I go up to a Palestinian person or Arab or Muslim person right now and tell them to vote for the person who's enabling genocide of their loved ones? No, I can't. Or do I go up to a black friend and tell them, someone who's perpetuating kind of the police violence and the prison industrial complex, and like, you should go vote for them because things will be better, I promise? I can't. I want people to do the strategic voting, but I don't know the solution to that other than to create new voters.
I mean, and I think even those new voters are turning away.
New voters, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I mean, I think that we can. But the answer is it's just gonna feel even shittier.
Oh yeah, because a lot of new voters came for Obama and then just got shat on.
I mean, I voted for John Kerry. Okay, I say this all the time. I've done horrible things in my life. I voted for John Kerry, who was like, "I'm gonna kill Bin Laden deader," and it's like, cool. At least you're not Bush, It's like, I'm gonna do the Iraq War right.
Yeah.
I did it. It grossed me out, but I did it. And that being said, I agree with you. It is I totally agree that this is a demobilizing force. What's happening right now in Gaza, and I think that there's more appetite, for somebody else.
And Cornel too. It's hard to criticize. Cornel has been one of the most consistently moral people ever, and having grown up with him, even though he'll go on certain shows, and I'm just like, why are you, why are you helping them? He has his strategy. He has his thing. He has his supporters, and I don't feel like I'm in a place to just be like, oh, Cornel, really, other than try to figure out like, what is this 4D chess that he's that he's up to?
What's the jazz? Yeah. But here's the thing that I think is a little bit of a red flag. And I'll say this because I think he is moral, and I think he is always on the right side of history. But the strange bedfellows, right? He wrote a Wall Street Journal. We talked about this on a bonus bitch. Wall Street Journal op-ed that basically was like, I agree with DeSantis preserving the classics. It's like, what? What are you talking about? You mean what? Moms of Liberty is purging libraries in school after school in that state, and you're defending the classics. I agree with my friend Harlan Crow. I just think that there is a level of celebrity that he has that is a little bit like, you're a bit hotboxed by your own, by your own stuff. And I think I don't think he's rooted in. I think we need a movement leader. We need someone who's rooted in communities. We need someone who's come up through this. We need, I say like a Sean Fain, right? Someone who comes out of these like labor struggles, movement leadership. Even, I think even AOC might be to a lesser extent comes out of the movements, but I think this is a different question. But so I say play on, Jazz man. We need you out there, but also I'm glad you gave back this donation because that was weird. And maybe don't rub elbows with the right anymore.
Yeah, I don't understand this fascination with skipping over people you can energize and organize, and skipping over 10, 20, 30 of them just to kind of try and convince one of the baddies to flip. Like, it just doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't work. And it's mathematically, even if it works, it's still not worth the time. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what other, what second cousin's education Harlan Crow is paying for. I love the weirdo defense of his statue tributes, Harlan Crow statues, of Mao. It's like, you didn't have to mention any of those guys. You could just, anyway, but
so weird. He's been to his house. That's what's
exactly. Oh, you've seen it. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.